Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to build a new micro quadcopter using the Tomoquads Sidewinder frame. In addition, I'm going to use the Ishin VTX03. I'm going to use this flight controller and ESC which I picked up on sale from GearBest. It cost at the time around $20-something and I thought it is steal, so I got it. In addition, I'm going to use this 1106 7500 kV motors from Emax and the FXT Mars T70, which has a bit of an odd shape and hopefully it's going to fit well inside this frame. But of course you can use a traditional micro FPV camera such as the Micro Sparrow and etc. And this frame also comes with an adapter, so if you want you can use also an all-in-one camera. By the way, the canopy of the Sidewinder is made out of TPU, so it bends like that, so I think it's going to be a very interesting quadcopter to build. It can fit up to 2.5 inches propellers and it supports also stacks of 16 by 16 and 20 by 20 millimeters. So now I'm going to start building this quadcopter and I'll see you after I'll finish to show you the outcome. So as you can see, now the Sidewinder is ready. I think the hardest part of the build process was actually to fit this camera, because this camera is not 100% compatible with this frame, and you can see also the lens is sticking up on front and it could be damaged in the case of a crash. And if you choose to use a standard micro FPV camera, it is going to be well protected, but because I really like the performance of the FXT T70 camera, I chose to use it in this build. So I used a small trick because the problem is that this hole was a little bit too small, so whenever I screwed the lens inside I had a problem with the focus, so I used a wire in order to secure it in place and I checked and now the focus is fine. The buzzer that I chose to use is pretty big, so I think it's going to help me to find the quadcopter in case of a crash, and I also chose to use the Gemfen Flash 2540 propellers because I really like the performance and they worked great with the Hornet 120, which by the way has a very similar dimensions, but this one is an X frame, whereas this one uses an H style frame. Like in most of my quadcopters, I used the 3M dual lock on the bottom in order to secure the battery, and I also added a zip tie next to the XT30 connector. This is going to make sure the pads are not going to get reattached in case it's going to be pulled. You can see that this frame has this little window for the VTX, but I chose not to place it on top. I think it's going to be more protected here on top of the stack. This is actually meant for the RX, but the RXSR is very small and it could fit easily behind the FPV camera. Let's weigh this thing up. So the weight without the battery is about 89.6 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than the Hornet 120, which weighs 83.2 grams. The weight difference is due to the camera, which is bigger and has a bigger lens, and I think also the Emax motors are heavier than the motors of the Hornet 120. These motors are actually ready to use with only 2S batteries, but I've already flown them before with 3S and I think they're going to be alright. I'm not going to push it all the way to the limit because I might risk burning these motors, so I'm going to fly this quadcopter with this 2S battery from G&B. and the weight is going to be 119.6 grams, including this 2S battery. And I'm also going to fly it with this 2S battery, which weighs almost the same, and also with this 2S battery. This is an 850 mAh 2S battery. It's only rated to be, I think, 30C, but I still want to see how it's going to perform. The weight including this battery is 137.8 grams. And finally, I'm also going to test it with this 3S battery from GNB, and the weight including this battery is 137.7 grams. Before assembling this quadcopter, I already flashed the flight controller with Betaflight 3.3.0, and the next thing I'm going to do is to go through Betaflight settings and to take it outdoors to see how it performs. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and as always, if you have any questions about the parts that I used, feel free to ask it in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.